Well, good morning and welcome to the show. Jeff Beals here at your service. Congratulations, because you have joined the only show in the metro area that talks about the things we discuss, and that is Omaha growth and development, real estate, construction, business expansion, really anything related to Omaha becoming more vibrant and more prosperous and perhaps a little more fun as well. Big shout out to our sponsors. They are Cheer Athletics, the nation's #1 all-star cheer gym, and Dingman's Collision Center with 4 metro area locations. My co-host Trenton Magid has the weekend off, and in his stead, we have a familiar voice, Craig Wolf. He is the proprietor of Cheer Athletics and a frequent guest and guest co-host. Craig, welcome back.
Thanks for having me, Jeff. Great to be back in the studio, and I can't believe you actually gave Trenton some time off.
We don't like to let it get carried away, but periodically we do like to give the big guy a little bit of a break. It's probably good for his mental health and maybe his physical health as well. Hopefully he's getting a little exercise on his weekend off.
We all need a little exercise, right?
Well, you do. And speaking of exercise, you need to walk yourself over to Village Point, ladies and gentlemen, and go visit the subject of our latest Grow Omaha Eats restaurant review, written by Chris Corey. Our Grow Omaha restaurant reviews are brought to you by All Makes, the legendary office furniture and technology store headquartered in downtown Omaha with locations in Lincoln, Des Moines, Iowa, and many other cities. At any rate, for this week's Grow Omaha Eats restaurant review, Chris takes a look at Meddy's. And I don't know if you've tried Meddy's yet, Craig, but I had it for lunch earlier this week.
No, I have not been there, but I have heard really, really good things about it. How was it?
It was good. The first way I would describe it, and in some ways this is an insult to Meddy's that I don't intend, and I'll explain why I say that. It's kind of the Chipotle of Mediterranean food. Uh-huh. But I say it could be an insult because the service is way more elevated than Chipotle, and the decor is way nicer. But you order at the counter and it's fairly quick. Okay. But the service is really good. To me, it's not necessarily a place Stephanie and I would go out for a date night or anything like that. But it was a hell of a lunch spot, and I think 2 people could reasonably share an entree.
Well, that sounds amazing. Where's it located again?
So it's in the former Gunderson's Jewelry store on the south side of Village Point. And, Village Point is completely reloading when it comes to restaurants. I mean, they've got all sorts of new ones coming in there, and Meddy's is one of the first to open. Well,
it's always good to have options as you're walking through Village Point, and I'm going to have to get over there and try that.
Yeah, it's a pretty fun place. And ladies and gentlemen, you can read about Meddy's and all of our other Grow Omaha Eats restaurant reviews simply by going to growomaha.com. When you're there, you will see the word reviews on the navigation bar. Click on that, and both our restaurant and our movie reviews, also written by Chris Corey, are on there as well. Well, let's go into our news of the week. We have a lot of things to discuss this week, and the news of the week is brought to you by Eagle Mortgage, eaglemortgagecompany.com. It is run by our good friend Holly Schneiderwin and a team of outstanding mortgage professionals. So basically, if you're thinking about buying a house, one of the very first things you want to do is make an appointment with Eagle Mortgage. They'll sit down with you, look at your unique situation, and then, because they're not a bank, they shop the market and consider a wide variety of banks and match you up with the best lending solution for you. Eagle Mortgage can help you with traditional loans, FHA, VA, and some specialty loans as well. You can find them in person at 114th and Davenport or online at eaglemortgagecompany.com. Really cool thing happened in Omaha last night. In fact, Cole Young, our sports reporter, wrote a nice article about it that you can find on growomaha.com. But last night was volleyball after dark, and it started out with a collegiate doubleheader between Creighton and UNO, and then it ended with the Omaha Supernovas taking on Columbus. Now, Craig, I understand for the Supernovas part, you were actually there.
I was there last night. Five-set match and great entertainment. Our Supernovas ended up getting the win over the Columbus Fury last night, and it was a heck of a match.
Went all the way to 5 sets, didn't it?
It went 5 sets. Of course, it's got to 8 o'clock start, so it doesn't end till about 11. Having a 5-setter, I need a little extra caffeine this morning, I think.
But you seem to be holding up pretty. Folks, you should see the collection of caffeine he has right next to his microphone here in the KFAB Penthouse studio. But we had over 9,500 fans in attendance last night for volleyball after dark. And that actually compared to some of the crowds, I mean, there have been several crowds where they've had over 12,000. But I tell you what, Omaha and the state of Nebraska are really stepping up and proving that we are not only a hotbed of volleyball, but we're a place that supports women's sports. We're a place that supports our pro teams. And I cannot tell you how cool it is that Omaha is pulling off things like volleyball after dark. And it's possible because, people like many of our KFAB listeners are going out, showing up, paying for these events and participating. And if you haven't gone to one of these things and you're looking for some good entertainment, I'd recommend it.
It is really well done, and I'm going to shamefully plug the Spirit and Hype team. I have to credit the Supernova leadership because we were after year one, we sat down and talked about how can we bring more entertainment and fun family entertainment between sets and timeouts and challenges and that type of thing. And so the Supernova leadership, myself with Cheer Athletics leadership, came up with the Spirit and Hype team. So we created a professional Spirit and Hype team for the Supernovas. You see them along the side of the court doing routines during timeouts. And nobody else in the country is doing this. And year one, it's been a little bit of a trial and error, just like anything is year one. But we were really excited about where this is going and above all, supporting women's sports. The Supernova players are just like in heaven that they have an actual team of Spirit and Hype kids that are supporting them. And these are professionals that made it through tryouts, were selected last November to be a part of this, and we're just really glad to be a part of supporting women's sports.
Yeah, it's really cool. So this paid Spirit and Hype team that Cheer Athletics has created for the Supernovas games. So are they people that are out of high school, out of college, and they just do this as a side job?
So they have to be a minimum age of 18. So
basically out of high school.
Out of high school, yeah. Minimum age of 18. We had about 40 tryouts, selected 25, and a little dance, a little all-star cheer. So you see a little bit of everything. But above all, we just want to just make it fan-friendly. Lots of pictures with, the little boys and girls as they're coming in and going out. And just a little added extra touch for these games. And it's really fun. And the crowds, I'm at almost every Supernova game. There is so much energy and passion for this team, and it's been fun to get to know the players. They're just good people, good leadership, and I think it's a great thing for Omaha.
Well, the Supernovas, of course, play in the CHI Health Center arena, but the convention center side of the Chi is going through some dramatic changes. As you know, if you're a regular listener, the east side of the CHI Health Center Convention Center part is going to add 90,000 square feet, couple stories, 25 new meeting rooms, which will make the center even more competitive for attracting conventions, which is a big economic driver for any city. And made a little bit of progress there. The city council this week approved $10 million in interim funding for that expansion and renovation. Now, the city has committed to finance up to $100 million of that expansion project, while Metropolitan Entertainment Convention Authority has committed to raise an additional $75 million in private resources. The $10 million this week that the city will contribute allows the project to continue moving forward as the city prepares bond issuances. You use bonds for these sorts of things. And I don't know if we've mentioned this much when we've talked about this project in the past, but in addition to the expansion, the project also includes renovation of the existing convention center. And Craig, if you want to feel old, let me tell you this. The Chi opened 22 years ago.
That's unreal. I still consider it almost new.
Me too.
Like it just was built.
Yeah, the new arena and convention center. No, if it was a kid,
years.
It would be already done with college.
That is really amazing. And Also exciting because with Omaha being in the center of the country, we should be a destination for large conferences, and there's great things happening downtown, and it's exciting to see the expansion and bringing more economic development, more outside money into the state. So hopefully day we can actually lower our tax base. Is that possible?
I'd vote for it. Well, just to the east of downtown, construction on the Mid-American Energy Tower has reached the treetop level. This is the 138-foot recreation and observation tower under development along the Missouri River just north of Bob Carey Pedestrian Bridge. It's part of the general River's Edge area of Council Bluffs. The tower will have multiple platforms on different levels. It takes visitors above the trees to experience a very cool, unique river and woodland environment, but with the downtown Omaha skyline view just to the west. Really cool. It'll also include an adventure course that will provide outdoor activities, including a 50-foot climbing wall, also a roll glide ride, which I'm sort of excited to try. Maybe I better take a look at it and see if it's suitable for an oldster like me. But at any rate, if you find yourself on the Bob Carey Missouri River Pedestrian Bridge or on that great lawn in Tom Hannafin Park and you see a lot of construction off to the north and you wonder, what is that? Well, there's your answer. It will be a very cool recreation attraction to the area.
Great addition. Yeah, absolutely.
And then we also have, finally, groundwork and site prep are now underway on the future Oxworth Apartments at 27th and Leavenworth Street. We've talked about it before when it was first approved, but that was a while back. Now construction is starting. The developer is Clarity Development Company. Going to be a 5-story, 194-unit apartment building on the southeast corner. So that will be a real nice addition to that neighborhood. It's just been kind of an empty space there. Completion is going to be next summer of 26, so it's going to move pretty fast. And we certainly need more and more of this as we build up the urban core. And I lied when I said finally, because there is one last story. Warhorse Casino Omaha officially opened its new expansion this week. The project includes 400 additional slot machines and a smoker's room.
Got to have one of those.
It used to be the whole casino was a smoker's room, so maybe we're making a little progress there. They had 2 restaurants opened, including Nebraska Ale House, which serves casual dining classics like burgers and sandwiches and features Omaha steaks, Angus ribeye, and prime rib. I'd take one of those. The casino had employed 350 people, but hired an additional 130 as part of the expansion.
You know what next Saturday is, Jeff?
What?
The Kentucky Derby. And
wow.
The Horsemen's, now Warhorse, that place is overrun with people to watch the greatest 2 minutes in sports.
Yeah, and while you're there, you can go to Nebraska. Now, I haven't been in there. I don't know do they have one of those classic casino buffet troughs where
you act
where
like
people...
that I've been there. I have not been in there.
We should have asked Trenton. If Trenton was here, I guarantee you he's been there. He's known to sample those types of businesses every once in a while.
You know, the casino in my younger days, sitting next to the, older individual just chain smoking away, I couldn't do it. So I have not visited a casino for a long time.
Well, me either. Well, at any rate, there we go. If you want to go to the casino, Warhorse is even bigger than it was before. So that is your news of the week, which is brought to you by Eagle Mortgage, eaglemortgagecompany.com. When we come back, we're going to bring on an old favorite familiar voice who hasn't been here for about a year. You've missed him, so have we. It's Stacy Winters, founder of Omaha Food Lovers, and we're going to catch up with the restaurant scene. I mean, it's pretty much our second favorite subject behind building cool buildings, right? Oh, who are we kidding? Some days it's our number one. Stacy is in the house. You're going to get hungry listening to this conversation, so stay with us. It's Grow Omaha, brought to you by Dingman's Collision Center and Cheer Athletics. Craig Wolf here, substituting for Trenton Magid. I'm Jeff Beals, usually here. We're off and running. See you back right after this on News Radio 1110 KFAB. And welcome back to the show. Jeff Beals with Craig Wolf, owner of Cheer Athletics, who is substituting for Trenton Magid. Cheer Athletics, of course, one of our sponsors, along with Dingman's Collision Center. 4 metro area locations for Dingman's. If you got a bump or a bruise or a scratch or a scrape on your car, or worse if it's bashed in or dented, just take it to Dingman's. They'll take great care for you. And Trent and I have both used them in the past and have sent many, many satisfied customers there. Well, folks, it is time to talk about food. What is more fun to talk about than food? And we have with us one of your favorite voices on the subject, Stacy Winters, founder of Omaha Food Lovers. Stacy, it's been a long time since you've been in studio.
It has been a long time. I have missed you guys. I so enjoy doing this show with you guys. It's a highlight for me.
We enjoy it too, and I guess we're just going to start off like we always do. What's new out there? What are the new restaurants?
So, I mean, it's been a year since I've been on the show, right? So I have several places in this last year that I've been. I will say, I think in the last year or so, I would say my favorites have been Udalale, which opened probably a little over a year ago, right around a year ago. Udalale is phenomenal. The former Mark's location in Dundee, the best, in my opinion, the best lobster roll you can get in Omaha, which I love lobster rolls. But everything they're doing there is phenomenal, from the appetizers to the cocktails, everything. Plus their patio is second to none. If you haven't seen that patio, it's incredible. They've done an amazing job of even taking what Mark's had and making it even better. I would say Clio is another really fantastic location. I would say probably the most Instagrammable restaurant we have now. The aesthetics of that place are incredible, but it's not just about the aesthetics. It's also about the food. They're doing some phenomenal Mediterranean food there. I love that Ben Maid's with Au Courant is also kind of does all the research and menu development for Flagship, and he's done phenomenal with all of those restaurants. So they've got some unique dishes that that are just incredible. A few others. I mean, I think Dumpling Empire, something that Omaha did not have previously. Kind of a traditional Chinese dumpling restaurant located down in Ralston. They have, I love soup dumplings, and you really couldn't find soup dumplings here in Omaha before. You go to like Seattle or, Vegas or, places like that. You could find some places serving soup dumplings. And one of the things I'm most excited about is they have the location in Ralston, but they're also opening up a second location already up off like 158th and Maple in the former Dickey's barbecue joint up there. So that one will be much closer to my house. But yeah, they have some really good stuff. I like their chili oil noodles too. If you like a little bit of heat, they're making hand-pulled noodles, super, super good. So that's another one that I have really, really enjoyed. I could go with Cibo Vino, another Italian place that it's probably been around a bit over that timeline, but Cibo Vino has been a really nice addition to the old market. That corner of, I don't know, like 12th and Jackson, 11th and Jackson, has had a bad history in the last probably 10 years of a lot of rotating restaurants. But I think Cibo Vino is one that I feel will stay, because they are making some legit Italian food there. So we went there in March with a large group of guests, and the service was spot on, and the food was delicious. So it was another good one.
Stacy, to your point, over the last year, we have had a lot of great restaurants come in, and I feel like Omaha's a town where people really like to go out and get the new experience, the new food, the new restaurant. Is there any national data that Omaha with their restaurants compared to other cities? Anything out there like that per capita or statistics?
That was I think that was kind of a myth for a long time. Like, we had the largest number of restaurants per capita. That was, I think somebody did, the actual statistics and proved that was false. But I mean, I don't know if there's any statistical data. I think just from what I've seen, in our social media and groups and Instagram and all of that, obviously Omaha loves to restaurants, loves to support local. I think we are very, very blessed. I think one of the things we have here is the culinary school at Metro. Obviously brings out a good number, produces a high level caliber chef here in Omaha that we are lucky enough to have. that kind of segues in. I was at Sage Bistro just a couple of weeks ago with some friends, and I'd never been to Sage Bistro. Sage Bistro is the culinary school restaurant here in Omaha, where they're doing, at the lunch hours they do a, kind of a more traditional casual type lunch, but in the evenings they do a prefix menu with 4, 5, 6 courses, wine pairings, all of that. And for the bang for the buck, you cannot beat it. It's $45 for a 6-course, I believe, a 6-course prefix menu and $15 wine pairings. You cannot beat that in
have
Omaha.
to check that out.
I mean, it's an unbelievable price, and you are, then you're also feel good about it because you're supporting these up and coming chefs with your money, and that money, the money that you tip with and whatever goes back into the school and helping them to get the stuff that they need. So it's a wonderful facility. So
I've been to Sage a couple times, and at both times it's been amazing. Hey, I want to talk a little bit about, in the previous or the first segment, Craig and I were talking about the Omaha Supernovas and how Omaha has embraced women's sports. And since the last time we were on the show, Set the Bar opened in Benson. That's a pretty cool place.
Yeah, that was one of those things. I was, as you guys were chatting, I'm like, well, we really should talk about Set the Bar because, I mean, you talk about a city that's, that supports women's athletics. Set the Bar is one of less than, I think, 10 female sports bars in the country. And so it's in Benson. It's on the second level. Above Shahian's Afghan Cuisine, they have really. I've not been yet, but I can tell you from what I've seen, the food looks really good. The space looks beautiful. They have a wonderful second story patio. I really it's on my high list to check out. So it's something that I think should be hopefully successful here in Omaha with the amount of people that will come out and support women's volleyball, women's softball, all of those sports. And I think, having a place where that's going to broadcast all of those sports nationally, I think is awesome for this town.
All right, we're talking with Stacy Winters, the founder of Omaha Food Lovers, and we're going to talk with him more about food and restaurants, but we got to take our middle of the show break for the news. So we're going to do that. We have Craig Wolf here substituting for Trenton Magid. We're brought to you by Cheer Athletics and Dingman's Collision Center. Back in a moment on News Radio 1110 KFAB. And welcome back to the show. Jeff Beals sitting next to Craig Wolf, the owner of Cheer Athletics and my friend since kindergarten at Loveland Elementary School. Craig, can I say the year?
Of course.
1974 when we were in kindergarten. I've known this guy a long time. He's one of our sponsors.
Been a great ride.
It has been a great ride, yeah. And your life has just not been the same because of me, and I would say the same about you.
You have added so much to my life, Jeff. And who would have thought
indigestion
that,
is what I've added
when
to
we're in the
Craig's
second
life.
grade at Loveland, that we're going to be on the radio talking about great things happening in Omaha in
That's
2025.
Right. That's what we do anyway. So yeah, Craig is the owner of Cheer Athletics and one of our sponsors, and like I say, my friend for 50 years. And then we're also brought to you by Dingman's Collision Center. And before we get back into our conversation about food, we do want to squeeze in our Noddle Companies Commercial Real Estate Development Spotlight of the Week, brought to you by who? Well, Noddle Companies, of course. They are an outstanding real estate developer, one of the most respected and admired in the United States. Do projects all over the place, but here in Omaha, Noddle Companies is famous for Exarban Village, Builders District in North Downtown, Rivers Edge, Council Bluffs, Village Point Medical Center. They're working on a really cool mixed-use development that'll have some amazing office space in Gretna Landing near 192nd and 370. But today, we go to their project in the Builders District, and that is where the Root Co-working is going to open. The Root Co-working is based in Tulsa, Oklahoma, and they provide co-working spaces. These are the, entrepreneurs or, sole practitioners or remote salespeople can rent small offices and work with other people in a very creative environment. So this is going to open in June. It's going to be at 1501 Mike Fahey Street in the Builders District, North Downtown. This is the very cool mass timber building that Noddle Companies completed fairly recently. This will be the Root's fourth location. The other two, the original two, are in Tulsa, Oklahoma Metro. Then they do have one in Fayetteville, Arkansas. So the Root Co-working coming to North Downtown. All right, Craig and I are happy to have Stacy Winters with us today. He is the founder of Omaha Food Lovers. We love talking to Stacy about food. And Stacy, I do want you to say just this one thing really fast, because we have a lot of listeners who love a good espresso martini, and apparently you found a good one.
Yeah, so I did. I've been on a bit of a hunt. I've always loved Bloody Mary, so I've done my prowl with trying to find the best Bloody Marys. But now I'm like on the hunt for the best espresso martini, and I can say without a doubt the best one I've found is at True American, which is a newer bar on Leavenworth and the former Marleybone. If you are a fan of the Marleybone, you will not recognize it now because it's totally been revamped with an incredible back patio as well. But it's a very cool little retro vibe in there with a photo booth. But that espresso martini, I feel like what sets them apart is that they have they are making their espresso. They have an espresso machine behind the bar, so they're making the espresso there, and that espresso martini is super good. So,
Gonna have to try that one, Jeff.
All right, and then you had mentioned also during the break that you're a big fan of Simo Restaurant in downtown Fremont.
Yeah, that place is phenomenal. So Simo, I would definitely say if you are looking for a spot to celebrate a special occasion, if it's a birthday, an anniversary, anything like that. I mean, you don't have to have a reason to celebrate, but I will say they take phenomenal care of you. They will make sure that it is special. That is what they are really good at. We took some friends up there this last year for some 50th birthdays, and the staff there could not have been more welcoming. Couldn't have been, just as far as how they helped us celebrate, and made it a great night for those two. It was really good. So they're doing it's Drew Stats, who was formerly with Dante. The pastas, fresh made pasta up there. They're doing, if you like truffles, that's a good spot to go get some truffle pasta. They do once a month Sunday brunches with different kind of unique dishes. But it's really cool. It's an older building downtown Fremont, which is a really kind of up and coming area with lots of great little restaurants and bars downtown.
Going back to the Bloody Marys, like espresso martini, True American. What would you say for Bloody Marys?
Bloody Marys, I've done some serious research on that, but I can give you
field research, ladies
field
and gentlemen.
research. I will funny enough, on my phone I have notes that I take, and I have my list of where I still need to try. So people tell me, I go check it out. I will say my tops are Herb Saint in Exarban Village. They do kind of a Cajun spiced Bloody Mary, which I love. I am not, when I judge a Bloody Mary, I'm not looking for the over the top, give me a, chicken wings and a whole chicken and all that stuff on it. I'm going for the taste of the Bloody Mary. And also the Trap Room downtown in the kind of that no-dough area by Slowdown. The Trap Room's Bloody Mary is really good. Some others that I love Jerry's Bar, because they have they're kind of a traditional, they give you like the shooter, the beer back with your Bloody Mary, which I love.
I don't even know what that is. Jerry's Bar?
Jerry's Bar. It's an old school bar.
Where is it?
Northwest Radio.
Oh, okay. You stumped me.
Yeah. They have Krug Park is another really good one that has like a whole Bloody Mary menu. I love Trax. They have a really nice traditional Bloody Mary, and Beyond Golf has a really good Bloody Mary as well. But it's a passion of mine. I've done a few Bloody Mary competitions where I got to be a judge, so that was pretty cool too.
You have a tough life.
Right.
You haven't met my wife. I'm just kidding.
Who's probably listening. Nice knowing you, Stacy. Stacy's final visit to Omaha, and his final day on this planet. Hey, before we get you out of here, I want to talk about an old standby in Omaha. When I was a kid, Mom and Dad, Terry and Mary Beals, probably listening, they would take me to Garot's when I got good grades. Unfortunately, I didn't get to go to Garot's a lot. But when I did manage to get some good grades, we'd go to Garot's, and it was so good. And then it kind of, people forgot about it. Yeah. It's my understanding that you're saying Garot's is kind of coming back.
They're coming back, yeah. It's been it got on my radar just because I love brunch, right? And so we it was like Garot's has brunch now. So like Saturdays and Sundays they serve brunch, and they have one unique dish that I have not found on anybody else's menu in Omaha right now. There was a place that served them for a period of time, but Japanese souffle pancakes are on the brunch menu at Garot's.
That's a far cry from the steak with a side of moscacholi.
Exactly. So Japanese souffle, and they're made like to order, so they're very like labor intensive. So they're like that, really thick, kind of jiggly, pancake, super good. They have chilaquiles on their brunch, which if you like spicy, their chilaquiles would be right up your alley. But and then they have several other unique dishes, which I thought were really good. And they're getting like bread baked fresh from a place called Bread Monkey. So they're having like all of that done for like their Reuben sandwich. They're getting a fresh baked rye bread. So they're going back to more traditional, scratch made, cutting their steaks in house, things like that. And they also have I like the retro vibe in the bar area. So that bar, they're doing like live music, I think every Saturday night, I believe. So a little jazz music, which I think is really kind of a cool, harkens back to the old time.
Well, I have to go try out Garot's, folks, and maybe you could see Warren Buffett enjoying this new Garot's atmosphere. Who knows? But, Stacy, we appreciate you joining us and look forward to having you back again and making people hungry.
All right. I love it. Can't wait to come back.
Stacy Winters, founder of Omaha Food Lovers, and now you got a bunch of places that you got to go try if you heard something new. Going to take our final break of the hour, and when we come back, Craig and I have our Perkins Kreitzer Construction lightning round. A lot of restaurant and retail stuff to talk about, so stick with us. You're listening to Grow Omaha, brought to you by Dingman's Collision Center, along with Cheer Athletics on News Radio 1110 KFAB. And back to Grow Omaha. We got Craig Wolf, owner of Cheer Athletics, and here substituting for Trenton Maggot, who's taking the weekend off. And it is time for your Perkins Kreitzer Construction Lightning Round, in which we talk about a lot of things in a very short period of time. Thanks to Dave Kreitzer and his team at Perkins Kreitzer Construction for making this possible. If you are looking for a Class A general contractor for your next building project, just go to p-cconstruction.com. Of course, P-C stands for Perkins Kreitzer Construction. They'll do a great job. They will do a project that is very nice looking, very suitable for what you want, and they have a very good track record about doing things on time and on budget. They can do projects all over eastern Nebraska and western Iowa, and they certainly have a lot of experience. No matter what type of building you're looking for, go to Perkins Kreitzer Construction, p-cconstruction.com. All right, Craig, a lot of things. Another Early Bird restaurant is opening in Village Point Monday at 6:30 a.m. in the former Paradise Bakery space. Lots of changes.
Early Bird is really spreading their wings, aren't they?
I see what you did there, and they are. I mean, they're opening those things all over the place. They had one that opened not too terribly long ago on the West Center Road corridor. We have All-American Burger opening in the former Untamed Kitchen space at 14th and Farnham Street in downtown. This is the same owner as the guy who has Pickleman's across the street. And my guess is they're very excited for the Mutual Tower to be done and the dual apartment, 700 apartments to be done, because there'll be a lot of customers across the street when those projects are done. Here in Dundee, Elleon, it's spelled E-L-L-E-O-N, an upscale wine and cocktail lounge will open this summer at 4915 Underwood Avenue, right here in the core of Dundee, not far from KFAB. It's from the same ownership as A Foreign Taste, which was a really good restaurant in Northwest Omaha that unfortunately closed last July. So we've got that coming here pretty soon. And then Agave Azteca, Mexican restaurant in Ralston, 5170 South 72nd Street, is going to have its own breakfast concept. It's going to be called Pancake Cafe by Agave Azteca. It's going to be right inside the restaurant. It's got its own sign, but it's just going to be in the restaurant. So it's kind of a cool way to promote it. They're adding a restaurant menu, but it's like they made a separate concept.
Creative.
So I don't know. I love a Mexican brunch. I'll have to go there and give that a try. The former VFW building at 5083 South 136th Street in Old Millard has become the Millennium Club and Social Hall Rental. So it's a bar that is just like a regular bar most of the time, or you can reserve it for functions, whether that's a wedding reception, meeting, what have you. The failed Omaha Bakery in Elkhorn, 725 North 210th Street, is being replaced by Eileen's Cookies. This is just east of the UBT Sports Complex. So a lot of parents with kids are like, oh, now I know what you're talking about, because I think a lot of people spend half their lives at the UBT Sports Complex if you got kids the right age. At any rate, opening planned for June 28th. Craig, in your neck of the woods, you're a Gretna resident. We've got a new restaurant in the former 531 space.
Basil, I was there yesterday checking it out. Yes.
What do you think?
I think it was good. They've got the homemade ice cream in there now, and as you mentioned earlier in the show, it's in the former Lansky's, which was then 531, but in that salad bar area, they've got all their ice cream in there. Italian place. I had the pizza yesterday, and I thought it was good.
Have to give it a try.
And there was a nice crowd in there for just being open a couple of days.
I tell you what, construction is going gangbusters right now on a retail building in Council Bluffs. A former Toys R Us and a former Gordman's building, been empty for a long time, right next door to each other, being combined into one big building, and they will house, when they're done, Ross Dress for Less, Home Goods, and Sierra Trading Post. Now, this is a little bit of bad news. We'll get this out of the way. Last year, we reported that Machine Shed LLC, an Illinois-based restaurant company, purchased a 2-acre site, 182nd and Maple. It was going to be Burger Shed. A cool burger concept, has locations in Altoona, Iowa, and Olathe, Kansas. Well, sorry, those plans changed, and the lot is now listed for sale. So no Burger Shed, but hey, just focus on the good restaurants that we have brought here lately, like Sugared Ledge Bakery, which officially reopened this week after being closed for renovations, and it supposedly looks pretty nice. And then we've got a third location of Scissors and Scotch. This is the place where you can go get a haircut and then get some scotch afterwards. And I've always wondered, I hope the bartender doesn't drink the scotch while using that straight edge on the back of my neck. I don't think they would probably do that. At any rate, the music is playing, which means that we need to wrap this thing up. But Craig, it's always great having you on the show.
Appreciate the opportunity to be back on, hang out with you a little bit. And Stacy, fun talking about all of the great food in Omaha.
Craig, of course, is the owner of Cheer Athletics and one of our key sponsors. Trenton's got the weekend off, but we'll be back eventually. At any rate, hope everyone has a wonderful weekend. You've been listening to Grow Omaha. We'll chat with you next week at 9 on News Radio 1110 KFAB. If you like this video, be sure to hit those like and subscribe buttons. And remember, Grow Omaha is not just media. This is a mission. We are trying to build up Omaha and make it an even better place. We can only do that with your help. Share this video with your friends, neighbors, and family.